Well, night live comes straight from the heart, straight from the root chakra to the heart, and all the way up to the crown. Hello, America. We're back. Well, that little being on time streak, well, we ended that, but we're here. Okay.
Man, don't be trying to hold us to that.
I won't, trust me. Well, libation time. The revelation of the divine spark. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all. All that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. It's now being and becoming an active force, an active force of consciousness, an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now, being and becoming the great primordial dragon god son, Kundalini flames, now whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakra to our central heart chakra, on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster, Magi, dragon god, son, king, and queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god, sun, kings, and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all the forces, all the elements, all the powers, all the essences, dark matter and dark energy within the absolute all in the entire omniverse, earth and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies, in the being of becoming all of our wills servants, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into realization, actualization, and form, coming down as the unlimited energy that we need now to overcome and defeat all of the obstacles in our way, completely dissolving all of our fears, problems, worries, lack, and adversities into complete nothingness, now manifesting into our life as the substance that we need to rebuild our life into the proper order and law that we will and command and desire our life to be. As we only affirm the positive abundance of the absolute all, as nichness of oneness in the absolute all, manifesting into our lives as divine love, perfect health, vitality, abundance, harmony, and prosperity in the absolute all, enriching our lives and the lives of everyone around us while protecting us from the evil of human thoughts and human deeds, neutralizing all of our enemies, bringing all out war, judgment, death, and total destruction upon the evil of the soulless robots and the ignorant walking dead and their Lord and God demiurge and its archonic forces, enslaving and feeding off of the divine spark, the Kundalini race, and all of the entities and deities aligned against us, enslaving us in grotesque matter to be reborn, suffer, live, and die over and over until now. Because now is our time to rise up to conscious unity as they all fall, as all out war, judgment, death, and destruction is upon them all, as we all now will and commanded to be through the power, force, and might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Abracadabra, ashe.
Presto chango.
Yep. It's now 7-day libations after I find them. Okay. Okay, crown chakra day libations. Ain, the nothingness, ashe. Ain soft, the infinite, ashe. Ain soft, or the infinite light, ashe. Adam Catman, Atik Yaman, the ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days, Ari Campin, the big face, the primordial Christ, ashe. Absolute emanations, our supernal holy universe manifesting as our holy divine infinite magical names, ashe. Dot, Dot, the great abyss of Gnosis, manifesting as our crown of Zuramp in the small face, the indwelling Christ, the black hole kingdom. Ashe.
Ashe.
Berea, form, creation, and paradise, manifesting in us as our holy divine, infinite, magical, dark archangels and demons. Ashe.
Ashe.
Yetzirah, formation, manifesting in us as our holy divine, dark art, holy divine, infinite, magical orders of dark angels and demons within us. Ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting in us as our holy divine, infinite, magical, earthly kingdom within us. Ashe. Yeshida, our holy divine, infinite, magical, divine spark, manifesting in us as our holy divine, infinite, magical will. Ashe. Heya, our holy divine, infinite, magical life force, manifesting in us as our holy divine, infinite, magical desire. Ashe. Neshama, our holy divine, infinite, magical, heavenly soul and spirit, manifesting in us as our holy divine, infinite, magical thoughts, our holy divine, infinite, magical, heavenly thoughts within us. Ashe. Ruach, our holy divine, infinite, magical soul, manifesting in us as our holy divine, infinite, magical word spoken through us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Neshama, our holy divine, infinite, magical, earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Ashe.
Ashe.
Kether, the supernal crown. Ashe. Hakma, the supernal father. Ashe. Wisdom. Ashe. Bana, the supernal mother. Intelligence. Understanding. Ashe. Da, the great abyss of Gnosis. Ashe. Ashe. Hasa, Hased, mercy. Ashe. Gavora, judgment. Ashe. Tiferet, beauty. Ashe. Netzik, victory. Ashe. Had, glory. Ashe. Yasad, foundation. Ashe. Malkut, the kingdom. Ashe. The power, force, might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The primordial cosmic flower, constantly blooming the absolute all into being. Ashe. And to all of our ancestors, Ashe. To all of our relatives, Ashe.
Ashe.
And to all gods and goddesses, known and unknown, Ashe.
Ashe.
Well,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
here, January the 20th. Pluto's in Aquarius now until September. So the change is coming. Change is here. It's manifesting.
You breaking up?
I'm breaking up. How?
Yeah, really, really bad.
Really?
Every time you say something, you break up. Yeah,
Man, I'm not hearing it
I couldn't even
this
hear what
side.
you just said.
Mm. I don't know if that's on my end. It might be yours because I hear you clearly. I hear me clearly. I see us clearly with no interference.
Oh, I hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Pluto's finally in Aquarius again, but only for until September. But
What the hell did that
it'll
mean?
be back in just only a few days or a few weeks, and for 20 years. So a lot's gonna happen. Lots changing. I mean, lots happening now. I mean, have you seen the jet stream? What the jet stream looks like now?
No, you said the
It's
jet
pretty much
stream.
cut. Huh? The jet stream. It's what's responsible for the weather patterns. But if you disrupt it, it completely changes everything. The jet stream
Oh,
has
okay.
been so completely chopped up until, I mean, it's more easier for storms to come to form where they normally don't form because the jet stream is like a wall blocking it. But if you cut pieces of that wall apart, those storms can come through, mix with other weather patterns, and become extremely chaotic. I mean, they're reporting winds in some parts of the planet up to almost 190 to 200 miles an hour in climbing. But and this is also a time where the wise, you know, can become very, very wealthy. Opportunities are just going to be opening up everywhere.
Like what?
Well, with this, like I've been saying before, the rate hikes that they began implementing in 2021, they haven't really caught up to us yet, but they will. We'll start. We'll begin feeling the impact of those real soon, very soon. And it's just going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming like a tsunami. First, it's real quiet, but you see a little bit of water coming, and then a little more, and a little more, and more, and more, and more, and more, and more. And the next thing you know, your whole city is submerged underwater. It's going to be like that. But that's going to
Do you
bring
know that
open.
predicting they've been predicting
Hmm?
the end of the world since so-called. I said they've been predicting the end of the world since so-called Jesus' life. Jesus
Oh,
predicted that the end of the world will come before he dies, before he pass away.
well, I'm not predicting the end of the world.
I didn't say you
I'm,
was.
I'm, pre- huh? I'm predicting the end.
I didn't say you was.
Well, oh, mm, okay, but I'm predicting something that
I'm just
is
telling you
very.
where that whole idea, that culture originated with the original Christians. That apocalyptic, because it had to fit with their story that the end of the world is coming, and it has to be that has to be because that's the narrative that they're pushing in their doctrine,
Mm,
and they've been saying that for over a couple of thousand years now. Couple of thousand years they've been saying, "Oh, the end of the world is coming," and because the whole basis of Christianity is apocalypticism. It's apocalypticism. you can replace Christianity with apocalypticism. That's the whole basis of their religion.
Well, I mean, I read that back in the 90s in the book, The Gods of Eden, Apocalyptic Religions, the custodian religions, the custodian
Well, I'm
gods.
trying to. What I'm saying is, anytime you're talking about that type of stuff of the end of the world, that came from the original Christians.
Uh, well, I'm just talking about
Our ancestors
the,
never. Our ancestors never said nothing about that. They
okay.
never say they told you that certain events will happen, so that certain changes will happen seasonal, as a cosmic seasonal change or whatever. But also, we were always in the ancient world not affected by these changes.
I don't know about that. I mean, many civilizations came and gone. Yeah, Kemet was was started after. I mean, wasn't it like started up
Well,
after
well, there
Atlantis
was
went
many civilizations that you're right. There have been many civilizations that came and gone, but they're the not talked about event that a lot of civilizations they just disappeared.
But you see, there's also that 26,000 year cycle where you have the Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age.
That's not an end though. That's not an end of
No.
nothing though. That's the end of a season, but that's not the end of the so-called reality though.
Oh, okay. No. Well.
And like I said, our ancestors knew about these things, but they didn't
hmm
interpret it like the Western world. They don't interpret it
Now,
like
do
the
you
Western world
believe?
does.
Now, do you believe that the third dimension will continue to go on, or will you believe evolution will evolve beyond the third dimension?
Well, that's subjective in itself because the third dimension is literally based on the collective conscious and where they're at as it pertains to matter density. That's totally based on the collective consciousness where they at. So,
hmm
like for example, if we collectively wanted to change the whole planet, right, and
hmm
liquidate the whole planet, all the solid, if we simultaneously think that, it will happen. That's how much power the collective conscious has. So when you saying the third, whether it will still be a third dimension, that's subjective because the third dimension is just
No, I didn't
a
say whether
result
it's still be a
or
third
a state
dimension.
of consciousness. The what you call the third dimension is nothing more than a state of the collective conscious.
I
So
was
of
referring.
course, yes, we will evolve beyond. We all beyond that state, and we will reveal something beyond that state of consciousness. Physical reality is the direct result of our particular state and our evolutionary stage where we at.
hmm Well, in order for something new to be, something old has to be destroyed. In order to build a new house, you have to tear down the old house.
You know what? I always clinged on to a lot of ideas that I got from before I even understood the difference between the Western world and the Eastern world, and you know what I'm saying? It's a big difference, bro.
Oh yeah.
Because all of the ancient world science and knowledge come from the Eastern world, right?
Well, wait, but then again, at the same token, the Western, the so-called West, is the old world too.
Well, I think. I think we need to that a lot of stuff needs to be reevaluated because we've been disorientated to
Yep.
consider this to be in the West and that being the East, and it may be backwards.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that. A lot of concepts that we have that we've been taught, we have to undo. There's a lot of things we have to undo. A lot of things that we've learned, so we
Well,
can.
I think we should study things like epistemology, right? And epistemology is the discipline. It's a discipline of knowing, having. Okay, what is it? It's how did that knowledge? How did you get that knowledge? How did you acquire that knowledge? What was the process or the methodology of acquiring a certain knowledge? Because most of the West, if you notice in the Western world, like what I said, is knowledge is literally based in ego. It's not genuine when in a sense of most people look at it as, for example, when you know something in this society, they like you think you know everything. No, I just know some things. I don't think I know, but this is how psychologically separated we are from knowledge, in opposed to the ancient world. Most people wasn't exposed to knowledge because they know the elitists were trying to keep that away from that knowledge from people. This is
Well,
the only
there is.
reason. But
Well,
knowledge
there.
was underground. That's why they had the Heritage Wars. The Heritage Wars was people studying that the state didn't want them to study. Period. The
Yeah.
Heritage War was literally the state didn't want the general public to start study a certain knowledge, so they will kill you if you was caught studying it,
Hmm.
let alone practicing it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this is
there's.
we gotta deal with the psychosis of the ancient world and the modern world and how they collide with each other in our subconscious, in our conscious mind.
Well, we used to have a saying in our business where the more I learn, how much I don't know.
Right.
Okay, because the more I learn that there's so much more to know that I don't know
When you
consciously. All that.
when you genuine about knowing, you're gonna realize that there's so much to know.
Yeah. So I can't know that. I mean, once you understand ain't soft, or and the vastness of that and all knowledge, everything known,
Okay,
that was.
explain it then. Explain ain't soft, or explain it right now.
Well, aim is the nothingness, and
Okay.
but it's not nothing, and it's not something, but
Oh,
everything that was, that is, and that
I'm looking at it as state of being.
there's not a state of being. It's beingness. It's beyond being. It's beyond being. It's a beingness. It's not a being. A being is something limited. This is beyond that, way beyond that. But everything that was, that is, and that can be already exists there. Every potential of all reality already exists there.
So that's the chaos realm then.
Yeah.
Because chaos is the potential. Well, chaos exists there. That's not the chaos realm, but chaos exists there though.
Chaos is a part.
Of
Chaos,
nothing.
this thing, yeah, this is, you can't even. Well, chaos is a good way to describe. It might be a way to describe a certain aspect of it, but there's no
No,
words
but
that can.
chaos can't be nothingness. It can't be nothingness because chaos is something. There's something there when you chaotic. When it's chaotic, it's something there. But
The
so
nothingness It's not nothing, and it's not something.
At the same
It,
time, I know.
yeah, it's not nothing, but it all potential.
Yeah, I get it because I understand it because I understand quantum reality. Quantum reality is based in that because when you deal with quantum reality, there's nothing fixed. There's always a potential of things shifting from this or that. They talk about it heavily in the new low key movie. I mean show, the low key show
Yeah,
about low key. You know, low key. He's a
yeah. Okay,
basically
Thor's up, brother.
yeah Thor's brother, stepbrother, right?
Mhm.
That series talks about these variants realities that are possible realities. That's where this is where that energy comes. The ability to have these variant potentialities come from that nothingness.
Well, the nothingness, it can, yeah, it can be different realities, but even beyond that, that's just only a little tiny speck of it. This thing is so vast. There's no middle, there's no end, there's no beginning.
No, I've always conceived of nothingness when I was coming up. That was a meditation that this is why I was so easily I transcended duality so easily, and I'm able to um, compartmentalize in my own meditations on how not compartmentalize, the opposite of compartmentalize. You know what I'm saying? The
Decompartment.
idea, the essence of that idea, right? In the sense of how when you are in the duality, when you in the consciousness of I'm a being, I'm a being of just three dimensions, and you don't even recognize the three dimensions. You just recognize the first dimension, objective reality, ego, right? Survival, right? Then you go beyond that and transcend that and recognize that okay, there is a multi-dimensional experience happening here. I'm having a multi-dimensional experience, right?
Well, the artist is an example of that. An artist, where does a painter or a sculptor, where are they getting that from? That picture or that sculpt, that
Right.
whatever,
It's something that they manifested from nothingness.
from nothingness. Where are your thoughts? Try to find the origin of your thoughts. You can't.
Right.
They coming from
And we
nothingness.
are crazy. It's crazy how much we think social engineering is a thing. What about someone from on a higher cosmic level interfering with your DNA and placing things in your structure of your DNA, so you start having certain ideas come up in your head that was placed there. That's beyond just programming. That's another level of, you know what I'm saying? We gotta understand it's that deep to where they can actually influence your thinking process through your DNA.
I
And
know. I know
this
about
is
that.
crazy. This is why you have to do the work, because when you do the spiritual work, the mental alchemy, that's the most important one. The breathing and everything. What you're doing is you can actually check your own DNA and recalibrate it back to the right frequency that you're supposed to be on. Because you could be on a path that it wasn't necessarily your birthright, but it appears to be your birthright because we're not looking at it this deep. How like for example, this is another example. Why are they blocking the sky? Why are they doing all of these things to keep certain cosmic rays or cosmic light from coming to this planet? because they
because
know that
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 awakens the
cosmic light
DNA.
is like light code information. That's light code information. I used to just call it knowledge. That's just knowledge. That's because light is knowledge to your DNA. That light is knowledge to your DNA. It processes it. This is, and your melanin literally processes that light, right, and turn it into dark matter
But see, remember that
or
26,000 years.
dark energy.
Okay, but remember that 26,000 year cycle. Okay, so in that 26,000 year cycle, we supposed to be at certain points in the universe or whatever. So the sun at certain points in that journey is going to give off certain type of cosmic rays and radiation that will automatically cause our DNA to shift into what it's supposed to be at that point of the journey.
Well, I will even go further. At that point, if you're practicing that is where it actually is formless to the point where you can actually reprogram it from what it was programmed from initially. That's the point where you're talking about. It's not a program that's coming from somewhere else. It's like you're already vibrating with the ancient. What would I say? Ancient future, the ancient future, the ancient future. Right, you was already vibrating on that. So,
Are the ancient are just a process. It's just, I mean, we're in this 26,000 year cycle, and it's all based on Sirius and our sun. When they get closer and closer, the closer Sirius, I forgot which one, Sirius A or Sirius B, but the closer that it gets to our sun, the consciousness goes off the hook. Our DNA goes off the hook.
yes, it's gonna open up something, bro. It's gonna latent DNA is gonna come online. What they're calling junk DNA is gonna come literally online because of these conditions, cosmic
Because of these
conditions.
conditions. And it's
Yes,
going to burn away the shit that wasn't here in the beginning. That's not going to be able to survive when this other sun comes in.
right.
Yeah. But
See,
then,
you got to look at it as a big ass, the whole what we call the solar system, as a big ass cosmic metaphysical machine,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are taking advantage of that cosmic energy because we want to go through that process in order for us to evolve. We have
So
to,
we can become galaxies and stars and suns and
right,
raise our own family of stars and family of planets and see see the life on those planets and give it the nourishment that it needs to evolve and have and grow into a fucking glorious universe.
right. I'm looking at it as there are uh, cosmos, our whole galaxies. That's a living being. That's a family of stars. That they're
This one.
actually when you those create creatures that are inevitably manifested out of those conditions,
Mm-hmm.
they are going to look at those entities or whatever as some type of elemental. You know what I'm saying? They're going to look at them as some type of higher dimensional being. So I understand what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying. We become those galaxies, those clusters of stars,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
Yeah.
become that whole, and then it's like it grows and grows, and we become like how we would look at it in a human form as like an empire, or you know what I'm saying, a big
Yeah.
ass, you know what I'm saying. So, and then we will still have, like, the thing about it is this: what I'm talking about this evolution. Like, we so fixated in humanity, we forgetting who we actually are.
Yeah.
Humanity,
Man, know
humanity
thyself.
basically is a trap, man. It's a trap.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a trap. Humanity is a trap, man.
But but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because what it's trying to trap is greater than it.
It's the thing about it is this is how powerful it actually is, or is it is what was actually in us being suppressed for the time being, right?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
you're right. How could it contain this?
See, when all the conditions are right again, it won't be able to contain it. But if
You're right.
but when one gains enough knowledge that forms a
And
light
and
that's
and I,
equivalent of that star coming back, they won't be able to contain that,
but
because you can have the same.
I think I would change it from containment to it's allowed itself to suppress itself into it.
Well, I say that because as the stars, our sun and Sirius go further and further away, that's when we go into the fall and winter.
That's a
And
cosmic condition that's conducive to our growth.
yeah, and so this time when we went uh, from the Silver Age into the Bronze Age, we didn't go there in the at the consciously on top. We kind of let ourselves go so that way we can go through this decline and go through this alchemical process. That was what our ancestors, from what I learned, that was the one of the plans, was to we had to decline. We had to go through the middle passage. We had to go through the worst of the worst.
Yeah, to a fermenting stage. To this is what it is, a fermented stage.
Yeah, and going through the Kali Yuga stage, that was I mean, that's where we got our asses handed to us in this Kali Yuga. But still, even though in the Kali Yuga,
Explain,
that's
explain the
when
Kali, explain the Kali Yuga.
well, I think there's four yugas. The Kali Yuga is the Iron Age. That's when we shrink
Okay.
consciousness, uh, we devolve. We devolve into this, and then
I think we should do a thorough, because I'm very familiar with this whole concept of these different ages of evolutionary humanity, and I think we should do a thorough breaking that down, because I
yeah,
don't think people are
absolutely.
aware of that, because the implications are basically minimized and looked at as not effective to humanity itself, and it's
Hmm.
really the root of why humanity exists is because of that evolutionary stage, that alchemic process.
Yeah, yeah, because in the end result, it produces something.
Yes.
So yeah, so the reason why I say these are end times. I believe that no, it's not going to be the end of reality. It's going to be in the end of this reality, and
I mean,
then we shifting into
it gotta go because it's kind of conflicting with the reality of the condition of the cosmos that we're going in. It's conflicting with it, breaking
yeah.
that new energy coming in is going to dissolve that old energy. Period.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
dissolving.
yeah, and everything connected to it, and everyone connected to it.
Yes, exactly. So
They're being
it's
dissolved.
like antimatter and matter. If you
Yeah,
bring antimatter into matter, it succumbs it.
it fucks the shit out of it.
It succumbs it. Yeah, it'd be like yes. So
It
this energy is like antimatter to this energy
Yep.
that we coming out of.
Yeah, and they shooting some antimatter into this bitch,
So
and
when that
we
energy
have
comes in,
affinity.
it's overwhelming, and it's like a process that's seemingly not even effective. You wouldn't even know the difference. Basically, a lot of people just don't even realize this happened. Is what I'm saying. They don't
But
realize
they
it's
realize
happening. See,
something's
like
happening.
we kind of do like a cosmic chronicle of this happening on this show a little bit,
Hmm.
because it's going to be so seemingly, and so gradual to the point to humanity. It's like people are not going to really see a change. They're just gonna feel it's going to be different. It's going to just change. It's like I swear, it's like I felt like in LA, this should change every 10 months, every 10 years. LA changes every 10 years.
Yeah.
The energy changes every 10 years. It was accelerating in that new world order agenda, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
California, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy. They're accelerating on that right now. I'm trying to tell you. The California is accelerating on that. Even though it's so much turmoil in California politically wise that they're talking about breaking up California into like 12 different districts or something like that.
Mm.
they're,
Well, there's
they're
going to be a lot
seriously,
of push.
you
There's
they
going to
talk,
be, from what I understand, the New World Order is getting a lot of pushback from the people. The
well, the
people
thing
start
about it
every.
is, I mean, you're right, but the
Mhm.
thing about it is, they knew whoever was in charge of the agenda at the time of the 50s, 60s, and 70s did a hell of a number on the American people through drugs, through counterintelligence, through propaganda, through
Mhm.
a lot. It's like they are.
The simple.
It's so much collusion that you gotta sift through all the bullshit to even understand. This is why I be trying to get to people, because I see people are emotionally attached to certain truths, to certain interpretations of a certain truth.
Yeah.
They're emotionally attached. So when I come and say, "Listen, think bigger. Look, think bigger. What is the bigger agenda? You're just being entertained, attained for a minute. Entertained. They're attaining you for a minute. What is the purpose of them attaining you? And why is the because every time it's like a bigger agenda with them with these. They know that there are people out here thinking and trying to figure it out at a higher level. I swear,
Yeah.
they be literally talking to me, bro. I'm talking about not the people setting up these false flags and these rare herrings, and so they can draw you this way and draw you. I'm talking about the whole most intelligent, and like you said, it ain't humans. It can't be humans who's doing this. It's other beings are who are using humanity
Hmm.
to pull out a
It's
bigger
energy.
agenda, right? I've been
Yeah,
saying
it's
that for
energy.
years. And people are like, oh no, I mean they never deny what I say because they know I'm saying is true, and it's like is they are stuck in a certain level and they can't go. I know people right now who's still saying stuff from that what we was thinking about in the '80s, bro.
Yeah, but see see now what you just said is very interesting because that's the key to this whole thing. It's not the war is not against flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. It's energy. It's all based on energy. It's
Yes, it
about
is.
psychically attacking those energy sources with our
Yes,
energy,
yes.
and then that will trickle down here on Earth.
A good way to do that, what he just said, is changing the narrative in your mind by not
Yes.
not just not just coming up with shit. Do research.
Hmm.
Recognize. Look, I do so much research that I can recognize when they're trying to pull something over us and shit. I'm like, okay, they trying to. I automatically know when everybody is just following along with that shit, trying to, because you don't realize they put a lot of false bullshit out here because they already know that there are fanatics out here, conspiracy theorists, fanatics and shit. And
So they want to feed them.
look, Alex Jones is one of them. Alex
Uh-huh.
Jones, he even admits it, right? Because he admit that he, in his family, he's like a born in the CIA because his dad or somebody else was in the CIA, and he was hearing this shit as a kid, right? Right? He admitted, basically he admitting it. You saw they tell
So
you shit right in front of you, and they admit, okay, I'm with the CIA. He's not saying he's directly with it, but if your damn dad, he's admitting it by admitting that my dad was CIA, my uncle was CIA. He admitting this shit, right? So he's CIA.
Well, a lot of black people, they can't get over Martin Luther King, but when you think about it, Martin Luther King was one of the biggest government agents there was. I mean, he was their counterattack against the other black conscious movements.
Okay,
right?
if you want to go there, because I got people hot when I said Marcus Garvey was a British loyalist.
Oh shit.
Now, I'm not saying this because I wanted to hate on y'all self-grandized idea of that man. I'm telling you this because think, if he was a British loyalist, right? And he literally convinced some of his followers to go to war in the British War, whatever British war they were fighting at the time. He literally convinced, and I'm like, wait a minute. Where we do that at where somebody who we looking at as somebody who's a vanguard in some ideology of Pan-Africanism, right? Which is which is bullshit too, mind you. Pan-Africanism bullshit that was created by UNESCO, and UNESCO is part of UN. That's a UN agenda.
Oh,
that's a UN agenda. So they bringing these bullshit out. Nobody really, because we are too emotional as a people, man. We too fucking emotional. And we're not using that. We can use if we was using that emotion in the right way to do magic, I can see you can If y'all are emotional when it comes to actually getting clear ideas, clarity in your own mind.
You see, it's all about karma. We not creating our own karma. We're not giving power to the karma that we want to create for ourselves. We're getting caught up to the karma that someone else is trying to create for us.
Ooh, damn, say that again. Wow. Say that shit again. No, seriously. Because we literally are.
Yeah. We're not figuring out how to create the karma that we want for ourselves and our family, our children, and our next generation. We're caught up in someone else's karma. We're learning their karma, and it's killing us. It's enslaving.
We're not even learning we're not only learning their karma, we're taking on the burden of that shit. We attach ourselves to that same energy, and it has nothing to do with us.
Right. And now
we're on a whole nother vibration. We're supposed to be on a whole nother vibration. It's like we create fucking shit that the whole world is influenced by.
Yeah.
That just shows we on a whole nother vibration.
Yeah, but who's controlling it? Not us.
You're right. But that's just showing we can come down a lower vibration. We will have to come down a vibration to recognize the contractual ideas and all that shit. We had all that in the Moorish Empire because we was on a high level. We come down on a low level and deal with this cardinal legal systems and shit. We will create these structures, but we will create them as a structural way to instill principles into humanity, bro. Literally. Yeah. To steal these principles, like literally bringing heaven down to earth, meaning creating concepts in our head, which is considered heaven, right? And implementing it into the structure of government, right? That was literally bringing heaven down to earth.
We would be like on Star Wars. What's that planet where the Jedis, where they taught the Jedis, and where they have the High Council and everything?
Right.
and where all the spaceships come and land and shit.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It's
so that helped.
basically because the Jedi is basically masterminds who have mastered themselves to a point where they had tapped into certain innate energy or forces within. That's all a Jedi actually is.
Yeah, they tapped. Yeah, they tapped into that ain't soft or energy, and they're able to pull energy out of nothingness and send a streak of lightning at your ass.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the basis of Qigong. I study Qigong. Qigong is basically mental alchemy because you're
Mm-hmm.
visualizing as you're doing certain techniques, right? Because you're incorporating the body movement into an energetic process that's happening on an energetic level. So you're creating energy. You're creating energy, or you're pulling in energy, and you're pulling in energy, and you're using that energy for your own, and you're downloading it into your qigong.
Yeah, and you can use that for manifesting, or you can use it
You
for
can do anything you want to do with that energy, bro.
energy. Yeah.
It's so much you can
Mm-hmm.
do with it. You just see how I explain it. You can absorb it. You can create energy out of it, right? They saying
Mm-hmm.
energy cannot be destroyed or
Or
destroyed
create,
or created. I beg
but
to
it can be
differ.
transformed. It can be
I beg
transformed. So you're
you can
transforming it.
create. You can look. You can draw out energy from that's inside of another energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's inside of it. You can draw another
Mm.
energy out that's being contained within another energy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. You can draw out the core of that energy.
Yes, yes. Which is a my God. This is mind blowing. How that core energy is different
Mm-hmm.
from what it's producing.
Mm-hmm.
It's different from the energy it's producing.
Yeah.
That's emitting from it,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Because, like for example, look, the energy that's emitting from our body, that's not
yeah.
necessarily the energy that's inside of us. That's just the radiation from it.
Mm-hmm. That energy can be being projected from something else, from somewhere else.
So that's what I'm saying. These are two different energies. When you got gamma ray energy, right? That's from cosmic rays. So that's two different energy. Gamma rays, if I'm not mistaken, are cosmic rays or some type of high intensity frequencies
Yeah.
that is produced from another higher
Well,
frequency.
they can come from a black hole. Like if we they said some guy was telling me at some point in the next 100 and something years, our solar system is going to be facing the center of the galaxy, and we're going to get shot with some gamma rays. And he said when that happened, that's going to be the end of everything.
Good. Hey, get your last words in, bro. I gotta go.
Well, hey man, we're here. The roller coaster ride is starting. We're starting to look down. You know, when you're on that roller coaster ride and you're going up that big hill. Well, we're at
You used that
the
metaphor last week. That's a good one though. Yeah, we
we're
going
yeah. Now we're looking down.
and that's a long way down though. It's a
It's a
long way
long
down though. It ain't there.
down. Yeah. Hold on. Oh man, I hope you can hold on to what you ate because a lot of people gonna be throwing up everything. They- They're gonna be
Right.
throwing up all their fake shit. This is when Pluto going in Aquarius. This is where you're gonna get purged from all of your fakeness, and the real you.
Right.
Only the real you can exist.
And,
And you
and
know,
and guess what? If you look around you, man, you can see the zombie apocalypse have happened. It's happening right now.
yep,
Look.
it's
I swear to God, go outside, man. You gonna see people out there like this on the
yep.
ground, down there, barely can keep themselves up.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
literally
just.
seeing all these damn looking people that's falling out and looking, getting back up and looking. I'm like, damn,
I'm wondering, do
this
we
is what
shoot them
they
in the
meant.
head now?
But they
But
were
I'm
telling
wondering,
you,
do
listen, let me get deeper. When they was talking about the zombie apocalypse, anything they talk about, because you know that came from the government, right?
yeah, yeah,
That
that's
came from the government. Guess what? They're telling you what they're going to do. They
yeah,
gave all of these bullshit drugs to people. Now they own this shit. And
yep.
now you see the zombie apocalypse happening right in front of you.
Yeah, but
And
what I'm
people want
saying,
to just ignore the shit.
should we shoot them in the
Huh?
head now? Should we shoot them in the head now and not have to worry about them later? Or do we let them continue and we have to shoot
Hey,
them in the head later when they're coming after us
yeah.
trying to eat our
Hey, it's a good
brains?
question. Good fucking question. Good question. But let me get my last words in. I gotta go.
Okay.
You got your last you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Man, listen. Y'all better get in the meditation mode and learning how to breathe. You'll be surprised how much you can influence the universal energies of the universe just by learning how to breathe. You
Yeah.
can influence a lot of energy around you just by learning how to breathe properly. Not just breathe. No, you got to learn how to breathe properly, right? And you can go to what's the brother name? Alim Bay.
Aline Bay.
Alim Bay
Oh,
got
you got to see his new
Alim
video,
Bay.
We Are the Reptiles. Where are the
Yeah,
reptilians? You
Alim
got to
Bay. He got on his website, on his YouTube page. Go on his breathing techniques. He teaches you the breathing techniques that you need to know to
hmm
manipulate the world around you, man. I'm trying to tell you that's how deep this breathing goes. So also we have to understand that what we are calling and they're trying to and put so much fear and so much false nonsense out here. We have to do our due diligence within our own uh, labyrinth of ideas because it becomes confusing. This is where a lot of people are having psychological and emotional problems right now because they're having an inner battle within themselves and shit with their own ideas and shit. You have to be clear with yourself. You have to be clear with yourself. How you can do clear yourself? You got to do your research. You have to study entomology, epistemology, because it'll put clarity within you. So I know it's emotional, and in the Western world, knowledge is based in ego, but you have to transcend that and realize the power that you can get when you understand and have clarity within self.
hmm
That's all I
Okay.
wanted to say.
All right.
All right, we
Okay.
out.
Good night, America.